Separation steadfastly adhered to by mankind. Steadfastly. I'm going to hide from my union with the Father. I'm going to reject the body and the earth. I'll come up with all kinds of metaphysical belief systems that demean it, minimize it, even call it totally illusion. It doesn't even exist. It doesn't matter. I'll do whatever I have to do in my mind. I'm going to keep resisting, resting into communion with it and experiencing the presence of love. And he tells us that this has created a disharmony in all that is. Let's take a breath right there. Whenever you are listening to this, a disharmony in all that exists. Could the root and cause of this be mankind's steadfast refusal? And he's telling us the earth can no longer tolerate it. I love you, and you know what? This is getting to be exhausting. Its sadness brings forth a cleansing, which now begins to express visibly. Now, when did he share this? 1987. If you want to do a little research, take some time. What's been happening on planet Earth and the world since 1987? As I'm sitting here with you today, it's summer of 2022, I think it is, and clearly there's a dramatic increase in the disturbance of the Earth itself. Call it climate change, drought, all these things seem to be accelerating and enhancing. There's a disturbance in the harmony of all, and it's getting worse, more and more unstable. Could it be that the earth, in its sadness, is about to make a change? This will accelerate in the months and years to come, and sure enough, it's been doing just that. The earth is a wise master, from whom mankind could learn to easily provide all that is required without the least bit of effort. The earth is a wise master, but we've been seeking to dominate nature, which emerges right out of the dream of separation from it, the loss of the recognition of its living beingness. It exists, it feels, it is intelligent, far more so than we have yet demonstrated as humanity. Are we students of the earth, or rather cruel, ignorant, and unconscious domineering of the earth? For what? Our own egoic purposes. Maybe mankind needs a big humility pill. Mankind scarcely remembers that such possibility exists. And right here, I want you to just take a nice deep breath and welcome this. He's really brought our attention to the earth as a conscious, loving entity. And there's a sadness in it. It unconditionally loves and delights. It accepts and recognizes the limitations of expressing in the form and quality that it does, just to express what the Father is. It's been having a ball. It delights. And it's a little sad that, or maybe a great sadness, that mankind steadfastly refuses to get it. All of us know what that's like if you're a parent. I wish my friend or my daughter or son would, I wish they'd just wake up and get it. They really don't need to suffer the way they're suffering. We all understand that quality of feeling he's talking about here. That little bit of sadness. Oh, Do we really need more stealth bombers? So we all understand that quality of feeling. But right here, as the master teacher he is, he shifts the subject. And it's a way of drawing an absolutely crystal clear distinction between earth and world. Why? Because when we think of world, the first thing we think about are objects that we see through the physical eyes around us. The world. Shipping lanes and internets and big buildings and trains, and we think that's the world. It's an expression of intelligence that creates a circumstance, a sphere. The world is not quite the same as the manifestation we see through the physical eyes. What he says is this, but it takes time to really get this. The world is always illusion. Let's take a nice deep breath. He's beginning to direct us to something that the entire journey of awakening requires. It's what it's all about. To see that the world is a projected constellation of whirling colorings, perceptions, attitudes, beliefs, fears, drives, needs that exist in the dream of separation, from which we believe we need armies, stealth bombers, complex financial systems, and all of the rest. The world plays out. What we see are the effects of the world that are operating in the invisible realm of mind, born from the desire to hide, the dream of the dreamer, the realm of separation. You could say it doesn't even exist spatially in space-time. It's a concoction, distortion of the flow of intelligence called the ego. The world is intimately closer to us than we know. We experience and see the effects of a shared world, the matrix of separation itself, created in order to hide from the light we are. This means that the world as effect is not a cause. The world as effect is not a cause. This is why I cannot be a victim of the world I see. It has no power to be the source or cause unless I give it that power. The world is always illusion. We see clearly the difficulty you have with us. Take a nice deep breath. I can promise you, if you are devoted to awakening, you will have difficulty penetrating, understanding, accepting fully that the world is always illusion. Especially when you stop projecting even that statement onto the buildings and the cars and the everything out there. Start realizing it's really speaking to a matrix of identity that's constantly going on beneath the surface. Where? In my own mind. It's a beautiful little film. Well, it's actually not a very good film, but it's a shocking revelation of the truth. It's called Revolver. Highly recommend you watch it. It might shock you, it'll probably bore you, the ego will do whatever it does with it, but inside is an incredible message of truth. And the protagonist says to, or one of the characters says to the protagonist, the main dude in the story, where would be the best place for the enemy to hide in the last place you would ever look. We look for the source of problems outside ourselves. The enemy, the ego, the dreamer, lives inside the mind, the very thing we think we are, and that is always so clear and knows and is just reacting to reality. That's why I'm sad. That's why I'm wounded. This is why I need to seek revenge. It's why I've got to build stealth bombers. I think the enemy is out there, but the enemy is doing the controlling of the mind itself. It is, in fact, the filter of hiding from which all worlds have arisen. Can it be true that my world is an illusion? Must it be true? Does this have to be true? What if my world can be like partially true and I can still wake up and be at total peace and still believe that some of my perceptions, attitudes, and beliefs are actually like really real? Must it be true that the world is illusion? Why would we resist that? Let's continue to go on. You've already glimpsed the consequences of recognizing this truth. Looking back, I can see that then it was starting to hit me, and it activated what it activates in everybody. A helplessness, a horror, a shock. What's the point of putting out any energy at all if the world is just an illusion and nothing in my mind is true and I can't even think of true thought? I'm in need of help. It drops you to your knees in great humility as the recognition that everything we've put effort into, oh my God, you know it all of that is an illusion. The world is always illusion. Must this be true? God, not all of it. I'll give you back 60% of it, but I need to maintain at least this 40%. I really was wounded 4 lifetimes ago by that person. I've got to give it all up. It's all illusion. This is a shock to the entire belief system, operational modus operandi of the separate self. And that is why you resist it. Here it is. The world means nothing. Notice what happens to your breath. Can you welcome breath and let that pebble drop in? The world, whether I think I'm seeing it out there, whether I'm beginning to learn to turn awareness and see the real world, the one that's fluctuating and swirling inside my chattering mind with all of its beliefs, its drives, the making of the persona, the ego, the whole thing. This is pretty fascinating. And in this pathway, we take a good look at all of it. The world means nothing.